I just want to introduce before you Dr. C.M. Pariyar. He is the well-known agronomist, and currently he is a national fellow under the ICR, and which is very prestigious post, especially for the researcher being concerned. And sir has worked extensively on the conservation agriculture and precision nutrient management, as well as they recently targeted carbon credit and GHG monitoring. So I request Pariyar sir, just go for your presentation or interaction with the people for next 45 minutes. This platform is yours. So request you to please deliver your lecture. Thank you so much. Sir, it's visible and in the slide share mode.
Sir, unmute yourself.
Okay. So then now it's okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the slideshow mode, everything is perfect, Deep.
Yes, sir. It's perfect.
So okay, great. Thank you everyone, and particularly to the Professor Jat and team for giving this opportunity. I will try my best to explain. First off, because slides are not important, I will try to speak the things which are very very important, particularly the nitrogen management in the conservation agriculture perspective. As we are aware that conservation agriculture are based on the three basic principles. That is minimal soil disturbance. As minimum disturbance we can do the soil, that we have to follow. Second thing is that rational residue cover or efficient residue cover. Generally it is the, as per the above definition, the residue retention in case of the conservation agriculture should be the 30%, means it should cover the 30% of the particular area to maintain that, as per the definition, to maintain the residue retention in case of the conservation agriculture. And third one is the efficient, or we can say the optimized crop rotation. In that crop rotation, sometime we have to sacrifice even, but it is the essential component that in the conservation agriculture we have to have the a perfect this crop rotation, so that we can able to get the full benefits of the conservation agriculture. And we can say this is the conservation agriculture practice what we have adopted. Sometime we are not adopting the fully, because this is not a single technology. It's based on the some technology based on some practices. So that's why its adoption is also very very difficult. And to conclude that we have done the some experimentation research, or even in the farmer field, that we have adopted the conservation agriculture. Sometime farmer generally, as per his or her convenience, use the some principle, but not all. So that will not come under the conservation agriculture. But it is still, it is better if anybody can able to adopt minimal soil disturbance or residue retention, or even the efficient that crop rotation. So that will also be the beneficial. But to get the full benefit, we have to have the all three basic principles. And then why this in the conservation agriculture, as I told, that efficient residue cover is very important and the basic principle. So under that situation, the nitrogen management, because generally nitrogen we use to apply as basal and in the splits, at least two splits, sometimes three splits or four splits. So under residue retention condition, when we apply the particularly the if suppose we have the perfect machinery to apply the basal dose, then we can apply the basal dose in an efficient way by placing in the soil at the time of the sowing. But the remaining nitrogen, particularly whatever we have applied, either it is 20% or 30% as a basal. After that, we have to apply at least 80 or 75 or whatever remaining dose that we have to apply in the splits. And that splits we have to design as per the soil requirements, so many factors, climatic factors, even the sometime it is, if it is rain-fed condition, then moisture availability, and so many factors matters for that. So sometime too in rain-fed condition, if some life-saving irrigation available, so because nitrogen we have to apply with the moisture content so that it can be available to the plants, otherwise it will got lost. And so in residue retention condition, if we apply the nitrogen like in split applied nitrogen, so generally it will remain on the residue surface, means it will not be available to the plants, and that will maximum will got lost. So to avoid that, what practically farmer can do, that they have to apply the nitrogen just before the irrigation, or just suppose some prediction is there, some rain is usually happening, so in between, some if it is not the dense means intense rain, so in between the rain also, if prolonged rain spell is there, so in between also farmer can apply the split dose, so to he or she will get the maximum NUG efficiency as well as the benefits, what we can say in the simple terms. And this losses can be minimized. In that perspective, in all these stages, like either it is the first split, second split, whatever split is there, that he or she can take care about with the coincide with the moisture, and to avoid the losses, particularly this volatilization losses of the split applied nitrogen remain on the residue surface, which can be minimized, and we can get the benefits. And it is very important that in the initial stage, because generally this, due to the residue retain condition, there will be the immobilization. So to unfold that, we have to sometime in the early transition, particularly 2 to 3 years, we have to apply some additional nitrogen also. After that, as per the means what we research we have conducted the research up to after 5 years, we can reduce the up to 25% of the nitrogen that can be sustained as per our research evidence for next 5 years. After that, yes, alternate years we can apply some amount, even 10% increment can be there. But next 5 years, yes, certainly it will be curtailed down up to 25%. Particularly, I am talking as per my experience, that is the maize wheat cropping system. So I'm not saying the generalized for other cropping system, but based on my experience, I can say this will work for the maize wheat cropping system. Both are the means cereal crops and requires the high nitrogen dose. So in after 5 years or 6 years, adoption of the CA continues with the optimized or recommended dose. Then we can reduce the nitrogen applied dose up to 25%, or in graded doses we can reduce initial first year, if we want in the 7th year, suppose 20% reduction can be there, in next year it can be 25%, up to 25%. We had the research based evidence that yes, there will be no yield penalty, and in the soil also this properties, soil health, and this nitrogen content will not reduce for significantly, or even we can have the maintained level of the both cases of the nitrogen availability. And this like all you all know, I think nitrogen application or any nutrient application, particularly it is very, because this 4 R's, right rate, right method, right application source, everything, this is also important. That but for our farmer perspective, I think they generally used to apply their nitrogen, particularly what I had the experience in this IGP region, generally they used to apply through DAP only, and the split dosage they generally applied with the this urea. So split, yes, the basal application, yes, if they have the machinery, then they will place with the sowing time or the at the seeding time, and then remaining dosage they have to follow the this application just before the application of the irrigation. If they had the means application sources, and they can apply the water. Otherwise, if there is some because rain start sometime with intensity, in that he or she can not able to do the application of the nitrogen. But if there is just density intensity of the rain is slow, so in between also farmer generally used to apply. In that case, they can apply to get the maximum benefit. So this is about the global nitrogen use efficiency and all that. Just to present in the slide mode, we have collected like generally it is considered that 50% of the applied nitrogen generally got lost. This is the general perspective, and the as per the this global data also it is available that yes, we can able to get about only 20 to 30% of the applied nitrogen can be used for the plant uptake or for the plants. Other remaining will be like either it go lost, or some amount can be used in the soil buildup as well. So but this availability or the use efficiency, we can say, is means not beyond the 30% in the particularly the nitrogen aspects. And so how this means differ from other, that is also we have done the conventional, because whatever recommendation are available till now as per my knowledge are based on the particularly the conventional system based conventional practices. But the CA, what I explained is based on the three basic principles. So everything is totally different. The soil cover is different, microclimatic condition is different, moisture content even is also differ, but that moisture is there below the residue. But if that applied nitrogen will not come in contact with the that soil, then how it will be helpful for this particularly to improve the nitrogen use efficiency or the uptake of the nitrogen. So that scenario we have to take into consideration. And this mineralization, what I explained, yes, initial years, and due to this residue retain condition is generally slower. So in that scenario, sometime we have to apply the additional nitrogen to meet out the plants and the crop requirements. Some other things like microbial immobilization will be, because in the conventional tillage, the soil is in the perfect tilled condition, but there some means I already be the these roots will be remain intact. Root channels will also be there. Residue is also be there. Every year it got some means decomposition rate of the different kind of quality of the residue is means kind means sometimes you have the mustard residue, sometimes you have the maize residue, sometimes you have the rice residue. So that residue quality of residue will also matters a lot for the decomposition, because different kind of the residue or quality of the residue have different composition and will have the different rate of the decomposition. So this microbial immobilization will be generally happened in case of the higher with the higher rate in the conservation agriculture due to the that condition what I explained. And so this fertilizer application rate, we have to go for this particular the conditions in the conservation agriculture, not as the like recommended for the conventional system, that need to be taken into consideration. And since this NUE I explained, this is some like how this conservation agriculture means nitrogen means per kg of nitrogen applied can produce how much of the grains in different regions also it is there. It is generally if you this Mediterranean region in case of the wheat, it is less than the conventional, but and the other scenario if you see zero till residue retention condition, but that will also be not some with the perfect residue rainfed condition will also be there, and then moisture will also be the limiting factor. So so many factors played a significant role for this NUG efficiency. And this is about the N fertilizer offset CA early yield penalty that I already explained. Sometimes we have to apply this additional dose as well. And so this is the about the nitrogen rates delivers. But now this nitrogen rates also because of the this new soil health policy and all taken into consideration so many factors, they have means redesigned or the nitrogen rates also for that is the to the crop specific, and at least for the this state specific they publish. So we have to take into consideration that also. And these are the like other means. Yes, we can use the some means precise nitrogen application gadgets as well. This like spade, green seeker, and sometimes the means the split do for to guide the. But for that we have to have the standardization, because sometime some suppose one crop is there, maize crop, somewhere all variety will not have the same kind of the greenness traits, totally different. This should be the crop as well as the variety specific. If it is a recommendation is available, then you can follow. Otherwise it is very difficult to recommend in a generic way, and sometimes it will mislead and have the means negative impacts. Means you have applied the nitrogen also, but you are matching that greenness and it will not go match. Then also you apply additional, so that will not be beneficial, it got lost. So that also you have to means we have to take into consideration, and we should be very careful to use of these gadgets, any kind of the gadgets also. And because they depend on so many factors, particularly the genotypes, climatic condition, and the this soil response also very important. It should not be generic to the even same variety may have the different requirement in case of the different regions. Some heavy soils will have different requirement than the light soils, so that also need to be taken into consideration in a very serious way. And this is about the like what is evidence suggest, and the about the green seeker, spade and all, and nitrogen management scenarios, and this NUE efficiency, particularly this subsurface, because nowadays this subsurface drip fertigation is coming up, which will yes, in that this dosage means the splitting will increase in 5 6, because every time generally do this fertigation, and definitely it will increase the efficiency and minimize the losses, and also the water use efficiency, that is always be means the best. For that also technical expertise and their maintenance, that is also the some concern. But yes, that definitely it will have the particularly the wide row space crop and other like in rice as well, some evidence suggests that they will have the better NUE compared to the conventional these split or broadcasted or whatever placed fertilizers, particularly nitrogen. So this is the like how to, and which this nitrogen means the extra or additional or this lost nitrogen will not only the lost, but it will increase the or deplete our environmental food, means environment as well, by increasing the greenhouse gas trade-offs, by denitrification, so means volatilization, so that will add in the also lead some negative impact on the our environmental conditions, so we have to take care. And then this is I explained that when we and where we have to apply the nitrogen and everything, this is the some research related things. And because government of India is already having the lot of constants in the subsidy as well. Lot of subsidy they are investing on the particularly these fertilizers, so that they also want to minimize that subsidy. So we should be careful to apply this nitrogen and to minimize the losses. But that's what I want to say. Thank you, SL. I think I explained what.
हर टाइम टेंशन लेकर ओवर टेंशन लेके इतना ध्यान रखा है और हर मौके पे हमारा इतना साथ दिया है, इतना मतलब गाइड किया है हर टाइम।
Thank you, sir, for the nice presentation. Any questions?
So, Manish, if there is no question, please allow me to leave.
Uh, my name is Deep Monmela, as I just introduced myself earlier. I'm working as a scientist in soil science at ICAR-IMR, Ludhiana. So today I will speak on nutrient management in soil health in maize. So basically, we will cover in three things in this. First, what is integrated nutrient management? What are its principles? Second, how to do the precision nutrition, the tools, the methods, and the third is soil health. Why soil health is important, and what happens to the soil if we manage nutrients well or badly. So one thing I want to say at the beginning itself, my uh, colleague Dr. CM Prihar has already delivered his lecture on nitrogen management, precision nitrogen management in conservation agriculture. So all basically all the precision, I think, I hope the all the precision related, precision nutrient management, precision nitrogen management related topics already covered in that presentation. So let's start with this. So, friends, colleagues, first let's start where we stand today. These numbers you see here are from the Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, and with third advance estimate released on this last month, 27th of last month. And so it's very recent data. India's maize area is 13.4 million hectares. Production is about 55 million tons, which is also a record. So, and with this much of production, productivity gone up to the 4.1 tons per hectare. So, which is also a record. See this chart. In 2015-16, our production was about 22 to 23 million tons. Now it's 55 million tons. That is more than double in 10 years. So both area and yield have increased. But now see this point here. National average we talked about is 4.1 ton. So if we see the or potential yield, it's about 8 to 10 ton per hectare. But now we are at the point which is about 4 ton. So with this gap, there is a huge gap. Why this gap? Because one of the reason is nutrient management. So, research or the research says that 40 to 60% of yield variation in maize comes from the nutrients only. So, not from the variety, not from the water, only from nutrients. So, maize, if we see the nutrients you matter in the maize, why it's because maize is just not a food, it's used in the as a feed, starch, fuel, even pharma industry. So many users and uses are there. So, nutrient demand is high across the board. Before in this slide you say that before we talk about the management or the how we go for the INM or the nutrient or nitrogen management, first we should understand why does maize actually need what, why, and what does actually maize actually needs. So maize, being a heavy feeder crop, to produce 1 tons of grain we need kg of phosphorus, 4 to 7 kg of potassium, and plus sulfur, zinc, and boron. These are minimum requirements. We cannot reduce these requirements. But more important than how much is when. When does the crop need its these nutrients mentioned here? Look at this chart on the right side. At the tasting stage, the 30% of total seasonal nitrogen demand is required, and total out of total 30% at just one stage. If nitrogen is not available at this time, this stage, yield loss definitely going to happen. So, and if we do not apply the nitrogen or fertilizer at this stage, the losses cannot be recovered. It's the permanent losses. So this is the reason we do the split application of nitrogen. Basal we apply at the sowing, and then at the knee high, then V6, then again testing. So this chart is one of the reason behind the recommendations, the split application of nitrogen. So uh, coming to the this except or in addition to the nitrogen, what are the situation or what are the condition, what are the nutrients need or maize crop needs beside this nitrogen. So the data you see here is from soil health card program, the national level, the soil health card program. So nitrogen was deficient in 89% of samples. Almost 9 out of 10 samples are nitrogen deficient. So before crop is even shown, the nitrogen is already low. Zinc is 48% deficit, phosphorus 48%, sulfur 41%, boron 33%, so organic carbon 54%. So it's the problem is not in the one nutrient. There are multiple nutrients which are deficient in our soil. So this means, what this means is the blanket recommendation. Same what is blanket recommendation is, we are saying that apply 150, 60, 40. So same dose for the whole country, that not going to work. So we need site specific approach. If we see the zone wise picture, in northwest plain zone, the Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, the main deficiency in these states are nitrogen, sulfur, zinc, because sulfur is coming. This sulfur deficiency is coming in the big way, because in this area earlier the source of phosphorus was SSP, single superphosphate. Now the farmers are using DAP, urea, so no sulfur is applying. Silently sulfur deficiency is building up in this area. In peninsular zone, if you see the Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, boron, zinc are acutely deficient, because in these regions red laterite soils are present, which have the low nutrient holding capacity. Each zone has its own profile. So the nutrient management has to be different. Coming to the INM. INM is integrated nutrient management. First, the definition. INM is the maintenance or adjustment of soil fertility and plant nutrient supply to an optimum level for sustaining the desired crop productivity through efficient use of all possible sources of plant nutrient in an integrated manner. So in this definition, you see that there are two words. One is optimum, one is integrated. So optimum means not maximum. We are not trying to put maximum fertilizer. We want optimum. And the second word integrated, we use all sources together. Not only chemical, not only organic, all sources together. So there are four pillars of INM. First is inorganic and mineral fertilizers. This source includes NPK fertilizers, urea, DAP, MOP, and also the secondary and micronutrients like zinc sulfate, gypsum, borax. All of these comes from the mineral sources. So we keep them in this inorganic and mineral fertilizer pillar. These fertilizers, source of fertilizers, are the backbone. Without these fertilizers, high yield in maize is not possible. But use them properly, because through soil analysis based or through split application or another, there are many other tools. Second pillar we see here is organic manures. So it contains the organic sources like FIM, compost, green manure. These are slow release fertilizers. They in addition to the supplying the basic uh, 17 nutrients, they supply also feed the soil microbes. They build organic matter. Very important. This the building of organic matter, organic carbon is very important for soil sustainability, for long term use of soil. Third is biofertilizer. Biofertilizer means azotobacter, PSB, mycorrhiza. They help in nitrogen fixation, phosphorus solubilization. They work as a part of the system. Fourth is crop residue management. So whatever residue is left in field, if we recycle it, that that is a free nutrient source. Mulching, through surface retention, or through biochar. So the question comes: does this the use of INM or recommendation of IM does actually work? Does INM gives does INM gives better yield than the soil chemical fertilizers? Soil chemical fertilizers. So let's see. This is the most one of the most important finding, or I can say the slide of this lecture, because this data is from AICRP trials, which was conducted for 5 years, 7 years. This slide contains the long-term INM trial data from 10 locations, which are distributed across 5 agroclimatic zones, and this happened through 6 years of period, from 2018 to 2023. So total 37 site years of field data. The treatment one control: no fertilizer, no manure, nothing. Average yield is 3,432, 3.4 ton per hectare. This is just what soil gives on its own, without any addition of organic or inorganic nutrient sources. Treatment 2, 100% recommended dose of fertilizer, chemical fertilizer. Yield 6.7 tons. Fertilizer is, because fertilizer is working, nobody is saying chemical fertilizer does not work. Yield just double from the control treatment. Treatment 5, see here, treatment 5 is FIM plus azotobacter, only organic. Yield 4.8 ton per hectare. That is about 28% less than the soil chemical fertilizer. So it's one of the recommendation, or one of the outcome from this experiment. We can say that only organic farming is not enough for maize. The data presented here is saying same words, because organic, with organic we cannot meet the high nitrogen demand of maize, so yield is significantly lower. See the treatment 7, 100% RDA plus 5 ton of FIM per hectare. This is the INM treatment. Yield 7.3 or 7.4 ton per hectare, highest in the entire this trial. All the years, this data is all the years combined data. So treatment 7, the INM is better than the treatment 2, soil chemical. Out of 37 site years, zero, without any exception, without any single location, have the INM lower than the chemical. There is no such exceptions. This means all the agroclimatic zone, from northwestern plain zone to northeastern plain zone to peninsular zone to northern hilly zones. So this consistency is very rare, or I can say that it's any such treatment or any such technology which has such consistency is very rare. So it's give about 9 to 10% more yield, about 6 to 700 kg of grain per hectare, so without any cost of extra inorganic fertilizer. Treatment 8, we in treatment 8, we reduce the 75% RDF, and then additional nutrient provided through the FIM. Yield does not hamper with the inclusion of the FIM or the organic sources. So if we see the previous, if we look at the previous slide, which gave the overall, the INM, what is INM, and this data, this trial, 8 years of trial confirms the importance or role of INM in the or maize or our country system. So let's see the if we see the agroclimatic zone in the northern hilly zones. So Srinagar, if we go by last slide had the all the data from the country. All 5 zones were covered. So if we see the zone by zone, how much advantage INM gives or the soil chemical fertilizer. So northern hilly zone, Srinagar only 0.7% advantage. Maybe it's because the hilly soils are naturally have the more organic matter. Adding FIM may gives little extra benefit there. Chemical fertilizer only is near optimal in the already optimal in those soils. In northwestern plain zones, Pantanagar, about 14.3% of advantage, highest in the whole AICRP network. Why? Because these soils are intensively cultivated. Rice, wheat, then maize. So organic matter is already depleted over the decades. FIM medicine make a big difference there. And in peninsular zone, again the yield advantage was about 11%. In central west zone, the yield advantage was again 9%. So in these are the rainfed, the central west zones are rainfed areas. So if I am not only giving nutrients, it's improving the soil health or water holding capacity. So this slide or the previous and these slides, the message is simple. INM going to work everywhere, but only where organic matter is more depleted, the benefit is going to be more. So if we see the micronutrient, we talked about the nitrogen in the previous slides and yield advantage of INM. If we see the micronutrient management, so INM takes care of micronutrient, but 3 micronutrients, zinc, sulfur, boron, are increasingly they are causing high yield loss in Indian image because the zinc is widespread micronutrient deficiency in Indian maize. If we see the critical limit, it's 0.6 ppm. Nearly half of Indian soils are below this limit. Symptom, if you see the symptom, what are the symptom of zinc deficiency? It's the white bud, intervennal stripping, young leaves, delayed maturity. So by the time you see the white bud or zinc deficiency, yield penalty has already been there. AICRP data says that the zinc addition in the addition of RDF, the yield advantage maybe 5 to 10% is there. So recommendation, if we found the deficiency, all the symptoms are there. The recommendation is zinc sulfate heptahydrate. Apply 25 kg per hectare. And then if we see the next most deficient nutrient is sulfur. Sulfur, it's very difficult to diagnose because it's very similar to the nitrogen deficiency. Nitrogen deficiency occurs in the lower and older leaves. Sulfur deficiency happens to the younger leaves. So chlorosis is there, but very difficult to, because if there is cool environment or the heavy rainfall is there, little bit of sulfur deficiency may appear. And in our soils, the sulfur deficiency is increasing day by day because farmers are shifting from DAP, from single super phosphate to DAP. So there is no source of sulfur in DAP. Sulfur is getting removed from every year, so it's getting deficiency is getting realized. So for correction, we could apply if soil is neutral or acidic, we can go for gypsum. Gypsum about 250 to 500 kg of gypsum per hectare as a basal dose, or we can go for single super phosphate which can supply both the sulfur as well as the phosphorus. If you see the boron, it's because boron is very dangerous, the limiting nutrient, because there is no early warning or no deficiency symptom appears before. If deficiency symptom are present in the plant, so the yield loss is already happened, because at that time nothing can be done. 33% of soils, Indian soils, are deficient in gem. The peninsular zone and the northeast zone, northeast hilly zones are the most affected. Solution of this problem is we can go for the borax, spray of borax solutions just before the tasting. So borax is very low cost. It's a very low cost nutrient or source of nutrient, we can say. So if one point is to remember that if boron deficiency is there at the time of silking, the pollination is going to be failed. So for boron deficiency, prevention is the only option. And in this slide, we have already seen what is INM is, what are the benefit of INM, how to implement, how to convert the principle into field decisions. So there are, you can see the 4R. 4R means right source, right rate, right time, right place. This framework, this framework is is being used all over the world. So right source means which fertilizer to use. For nitrogen, urea or DAP, or for phosphorus, DAP, we use DAP or SSP. Remember, the SSP also give the sulfur in addition to the phosphorus. For zinc, we can go for the zinc sulfate, for heptahydrate or monohydrate, whatever is available in the market. We can adjust the dose accordingly, but we can apply the zinc. For organic matter, FI or compost, which is or vermicompost, according to availability of source or purchasing power. So source selection is is it's affected by the different things. It's not a habit, because it has its own regions. So, and if we say see the right rate, it's how much to apply. This should the how much to a nutrient is going to be applied is decided from the soil test. The it may be through STCR equation, or the nutrient expert, or the green seeker. So all the how much to apply is not from the blanket recommendation. We should opt some kind of tool like soil testing or STCR or green seeker, or because the rate, source, time, and place, they are going to affect our outcome or maize yield. If we see the time when to apply phosphorus, potassium, zinc, FIM, if we see they all goes to the as a basal dose. Nitrogen, we are going to split, and we apply at the basal, at the knee high stage, at the tasseling. So FIM, we are going to apply before sowing, at least 2 week before the sowing, because it needs time for decomposition. So micronutrients we apply at the as the foliar, most probably at the V6 knee high stage. And fourth, R is the right place. Where to apply? Phosphorus bend placement. We can go for the 5 to 6 centimeter from the grain, or and we can keep it nearby the root zone. FIM must be incorporated, not the retained on soil. And for if we see the another method of application, drip irrigation, we apply all the fertilizer through fertigation. So so the precision nutrient management start from soil. So in the left side, you see the 6 steps. These 6 steps are for soil test based approach. This should be done before every maize crop, or maybe there maybe another crop. But in practice, if you see in practice, it's very rarely happens. Before each crop we do the soil analysis. That is the one of the gap. So in step one we do the sampling, we do the sampling from field, we composite it, and take the samples from two soil depths, and then we sent it to the laboratory analysis. All the minimum parameters like pH, organic carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, in addition sulfur, zinc, all need to be done. Then the critical limits, if the zinc or the all the nutrients, if they are below the critical limit, we have to apply in the incremental dosage. Then step 4, if we have the TCR equation, whatever the soil test report came, whatever it says, the how much nutrient is there, how much potential we need to get, or we are seeing. So this must be feed in the STCR equation, or we have the nutrient expert. So all these are tools, maybe. And then whatever the tool says the how much to apply, we apply and monitor. Monitoring we do throughout the season. If we see that there is nitrogen deficiency at knee-high stage or the tillering stage, sorry, the grain filling stage, we need to apply it. So we need to do the correction of nutrient deficiency before it's going to hamper or yield. So if we see the nutrient management in our ASRP network, SSNM was applied at at Pantnagar. In Pantnagar, we applied the SSNM. SSNM gave the advantage of around 600 kg per hectare. So these tools are just not for the for the increasing yield, but for the sustainability of soil. If we do the under application or over application of fertilizer, it's this is that is hampering our soils and negatively. So these tools are not just for the yield advantage. If we see the in addition to STCR or the soil test based, there are another tools like sensor based. May have Dr. Parihar has already discussed the sensor based nitrogen management in conservation agriculture. So there are not only green seeker based, there are another tools like leaf color chart, speedometer, green seeker, nutrient expert. We have already discussed. Leaf color chart is very simple tool. It's a laminated card with different color strips. We compare the leaf color chart with our color of our leaves, and there is how much to apply is written behind that laminated card. Speedometer, same again. It's a handheld chlorophyll meter. It has better accuracy. And the green seeker, it's an optical sensor. It's measure the NDVI of crop, means greenness of the crop. In farmer walks into the field, carries the sensor, and its read and result goes to the one of the algorithm. Output suggests the how much nitrogen exact urea is to apply. So these are the different tools, digital tools and sensors for nitrogen management. If we see the nano urea is getting discussed in the various platforms. So in AICRP trials, we conducted nano urea trial, and we found that nutrient use efficiency is claimed by nano urea is 65 to 75%. The routine urea has 30 to 35% nutrient use efficiency. So what does our AICRP trial says? In 2022, 15 locations we tested. At 7 locations out of 15, 75% nitrogen dose plus 1 nano urea spray was equal to 100% dose. That is nearly half of the AICRP network is showing that 25% nitrogen saving is there. The result was good, but in 2023, same 15 location, we carried the same experiment, but now the 100% of RDN is showing better results. So what we assess that technology maybe it's promising, but we need to carry more trials, more locations, and more number of years before the recommending to the farmers. And if we see the third theme of this uh, presentation is soil health. Soil health, if we see the USDA definition, soil health is a continued capacity of soil to function as a living ecosystem. So the word continued is very important, because not just if we see the not just today's productivity, we can we the keep the soil producing year after year. We look uh, and the soil health has its three dimensions: physical, chemical, and biological. Physical, there is bulk density, aggregate stability, water holding capacity, infiltration rate, and soil temperature. Bulk density has to be more than if less than 1.5. If it's more than 6, roots cannot penetrate. Penetration resistance will be higher. So yield, roots going to suffer. Ultimately, yields going to suffer. And if you see the chemical indicators, pH, organic carbon, available nutrients, CC, so optimal pH for maize is 6 to 7.5, and above 7.5, all the micronutrients, zinc, iron, magnesium, it's their availability going to drop. Organic carbon should be more than 0.75% for soil to be considered healthy. But in Indian soils, about more than 50% of soils are below 0.5%. So this condition is very worrying. If you see the biological indicators, microbial biomass, carbon, dehydrogenase activities, earthworm population, mineralizable nitrogen, soil respiration, these these biological indicators are very sensitive and very early indicators. It's these shows the soil's metabolic health. And key points out of uh, that is we need to monitor all the health parameters. So if we see the soil importance of soil organic carbon, maintaining all the soil health parameters in the line. So we did the AICRP trial on the chemical fertilizer and INM, as I already mentioned. But the side contribution or side positive impact of using of INM is the increase in soil organic carbon. Because in the red chart, you say that the treatment 2 we have already discussed, it has 100% of recommended dose of fertilizer. Blue one is the T1, and so no control, no fertilizer. So increase or application of the only chemical fertilizer going to reduce the organic carbon year after year. And addition of the INM, addition of the organic or mixing of organic, inorganic, biofertilizer, all the available source of nutrients going to increase the organic carbon. So this INM trial is not going to say that our yield is going to increase, but also the soil health is going to improve. So coming to the 6 priority areas we are seeing here. First is soil health monitoring. We need to do the health monitoring through the physical, chemical, biological parameters. And the second one is nano fertilizer standardization. So we have only 2 years of data. We need to go for more years and more locations. Third is digital tools we need to do. And now AI is there. So AI trained tools can be developed for the fertilizer application. And fourth which is not the germplasm and INM synergy we can search. So in AICRP trials we can have one of these trials And fifth one is circular nutrient economy, because different sources which are there but not very much utilized, so we can use as a source of nutrition. Policy, all you know, is that very important soil health card is scheme is there, through which we the government supplied farmers with the soil health card, and they can see the what is deficient, how much is deficient. They can supply, or they can apply the nutrition, crop nutrition accordingly. So these points are, that's I want to cover in this my presentation. And if any questions regarding this, I can answer.
So good presentation, Dr. Mohan and Venkatesh here. So recently we have seen that because of the uh, shortage of fertilizer availability, farmers have gone for application of more nitrogen and almost negative P and K in their soil management, fertility management schedule. So how does this only nitrogen application to the exclusion of P and K affect the maize? Has some study been carried out?
uh, so if we apply, because there is perception that if we apply only the urea, it's going to increase our yield. But application of urea or imbalanced fertilizer application per se, it's going to affect negatively or the plant health and the yields. Because if we apply only urea, it's going to the thin the cell walls. If we, there is deficiency of calcium, we do not apply for potassium, because potassium brings the resilience in the maize plant. If you don't apply potassium, there is already low potassium status is there in soil. So and only apply nitrogen, because urea is heavily subsidized and is the cheapest source of nitrogen. So if you apply more of urea, it's going to, plants will be more greener, more taller. It looks good. If we if a plant looks good, it's going to attract the more of, if is there is lush growth and is more green, it's going to attract more of the insect also, more of the diseases also. And if nitrogen is there, there is cell wall is going to be very thin, so resistance will be very low to the biotic stresses. So definitely it's going to attract more of the pesticide spray, more of the insecticide spray, or cost of cultivation going to be very high. So ultimately, if we see the benefit cost ratio or what we achieve from that particular or additional bag of urea, it's not going to be a very positive result. So that's why the recommended and balanced application of nutrients is always advised. So it's my take is it's not going to positively affect the yield in any way, yield or income.
Thank you, Doctor.
One question in chat box is that in real situation, farmer not want to adopt INM. Uh, Dhananjay ji, we can, because one cannot force farmers to adopt anything. If he or she sees that positive impact of any technology without any much of infrastructure needed, farmer going to adopt it, because we have to work on more on FLDs and such kinds of technology in universities or some local farmer field. If we going to show them that this technology is going to is better. It's reduce your cost of cultivation and increase your yields and profitability. They are definitely going to adopt. If we just say through words, they are not going to adopt any technology. In conventional corn growing regions, farmers cultivating monocropping rainfed conditions, what could be the ideal nutrient management? Naidu, GVS, first and foremost thing, I would suggest that whatever the ecology, it's maybe rainfed or the irrigated one. First and foremost thing is the availability, assess the availability of nutrients. What and how much is available. That because through that only we can apply efficiently and effectively the nutrients. Otherwise, if I suggest that this much of nutrients you can apply, if there are very much variability in two fields adjacent, two adjacent fields are there, if are there, and there is very much variability in soil type and the availability of nutrients, because nutrient availability is also affected by the history of cropping on that particular land. If one farmer is doing the inclusion of legume, he is retaining the residue, its fertility is going to be different, and one is doing only monocropping, its fertility is going to be different. So first and foremost thing is the soil analysis or the soil testing for nutrient. Then only whatever the recommendation came in that soil test card, apply accordingly. That is my recommendation. How frequently we should recommend soil testing? Government says it's we need to do every 3 years, but if we are changing crops or we are doing management differently, we are suppose for last 10-20 years we are not doing any residue retention or we are doing monocropping, but after attempting one soil testing, we are changing our management methods, we are retaining residue and we are including some other crops. So we need to do maybe second year, because we need to see the how much positive or negative impact our management has kept on the soil. So we need to do soil testing more frequently. There are so many questions coming in the chat box. 100% RDF. What was the recommended dose used NPK per hectare? So it was different for as I said, there were 5 ecologies, and very in each ecology there were different centers. So each center has its recommended. Each center has its state recommended dose of fertilizers. They followed that only. Does more application, is asking, does more application of nitrogen in the initial stage about the flowering stage this year could see lot of nitrogen application due to scarcity? I don't know what I don't know what you mean about the initial stages. Initial stage, maybe you are talking about the basal application, or at the time of the knee-high stage, V6 stage, we say. Initial application of nitrogen definitely going to prolong the vegetative stage. If one uh, crop or one variety, one hybrid is of 110 days, if we apply more of nitrogen, it's going to prolong its life cycle. So it maybe go up to 115, 120 days, and more of the days increased. And if we suppose one maize is planted in the summer season after harvest of potato in, I'm giving example of Punjab. After harvest of potato, one farmer sown the maize in month of March, and if he or she apply the more of nitrogen, excess nitrogen, definitely the vegetative growth is going to be more. The period is going to be prolonged. So the harvesting stage, which was supposed to be in the month of June, it may coincide with the last week of rains in the last week of June, where the rains frequency of rains are more. So it may affect the quality of produce. Same goes in case of the Kharif season. The onset of next season is going to hamper the yield and quality and the maturity of the crop. So, as I said, the imbalance application, undernutrition or nutrition is going to affect the crop negatively in any way. Maybe through the delayed maturity, maybe through through the less yield, less growth, like that. So, any more questions? If not, then thank you. Thank you all for patience, for hearing me out and for the questions, your questions.